In 1970, a Soviet drill bit touched Arctic granite for the first time, and the sound it made echoed across a frozen wilderness no one had ever cared about before. The hole it carved would go deeper than the entire Mariana Trench, but through solid rock instead of water. So, what is actually sitting 12 kilometers beneath your feet right now? While everyone else was watching rocket launches on television, Soviet scientists were doing something far stranger, pointing their machines in the opposite direction entirely. The logic was simple and quietly radical. America owned the sky. Nobody owned what was underneath. In 1970, a team of Soviet engineers arrived at the Kola Peninsula, a frozen strip of Arctic wilderness in the far northwest of Russia. They chose it deliberately. Ancient rock sat unusually close to the surface here, which meant the drill could reach deep, old crust faster than almost anywhere else on Earth. They erected a steel tower over the ice, bolted in a custom rig called the Uralmash 15,000, and set a target depth of 15,000 meters. That is deeper than any human being had ever attempted to go. Not by a little, by a lot. For the first 3,000 meters, everything went exactly as planned. The drill chewed through solid granite, the cores came up clean, and the geologists nodded along. Their models were holding, their textbooks were holding. They expected that somewhere around 7,000 meters, the granite would give way to a harder, denser rock called basalt. This was not a guess. It was a conclusion built on decades of seismic data, on the way earthquake waves bounced back up through underground layers at measurably different speeds. The science was settled, or so they thought. When the drill passed 7,000 meters and the cores came back up, the geologists stared at them in silence. No basalt. Not a trace. Just more granite, but fractured, twisted, and warped by pressure so immense it had been reshaping that rock for over 2.5 billion years. 3 billion years is older than complex life on Earth. And the drill was still going down. Every new core sample rewrote something the team thought they already knew. The underground was not the tidy, layered system the textbooks described. It was something stranger. And the strangest part had not arrived yet. The textbooks said basalt was waiting at 7,000 meters. Did you actually believe the models were right? Or did you already sense something was off? Drop your answer in the comments below. Because what the drill hit next made every geologist in that tent question everything they had ever been taught. Past 3 kilometers, the drill hit something that had no business being there. Water, not a trickle. A pressurized surge of liquid forcing its way out of solid granite cracks, pushing against equipment designed to handle rock, not fluid. Every textbook said this was impossible. At that depth, the weight of 7 kilometers of stone above should have squeezed every last molecule of moisture out of the crust billions of years ago. The rock was supposed to be bone dry. It was not. This water had not seeped down from the surface. It had not dripped through cracks over millions of years. The Earth had manufactured it. Immense geological pressure had literally forced hydrogen and oxygen atoms out of the mineral crystals themselves, squeezed them free from the stone the way you would wring water from a cloth. The rock was not containing water. The rock was producing it. The instruments in the Arctic tent were telling the engineers something geology said could not happen. Then it got worse. That pressurized water began eating away at the borehole walls. The shaft started crumbling from the inside, threatening to swallow the drill pipes whole. The team stabilized it and kept going. At 6 kilometers, core samples went under microscopes. What came back out of those ancient rocks were 24 distinct species of single-celled plankton fossils, 2 billion years old, each one sealed inside a microscopic shell of carbon and nitrogen that had kept it intact through unimaginable pressure and heat. Science had drawn a firm line. Organic matter could not survive below 3 kilometers. The Kola drill crossed that line by nearly double, and the fossils were pristine. In 1992, the project was shut down. The borehole was sealed with a heavy metal cap. It still holds the world record for true vertical depth. The site sits abandoned in the Arctic wilderness right now. No basalt layer where the models promised one. Water manufactured from stone. Ancient life preserved in granite that was never supposed to hold it. Everything the drill found forced geologists to rewrite what they thought they understood about the planet beneath them. The ground under your feet is not a dead block of cold rock. It is active, ancient, and still full of things we cannot explain. And whatever else is sitting below 12,262 meters, below the deepest point any drill has ever reached, stays there, sealed, unreachable. The cap is still on. Subscribe for more stories like this, and watch the next one while it's still on your screen.